If you don't like and subscribe, your girl will.
On YouTube, what's going on? Today we got the serial killer with multiple identities, Harry Rasmussen, chameleon killer.
Every town has a dark side. From the years 1985 to 2017, there was a man with no identity who haunted the state of New Hampshire. And he tormented
New
the good
Hampshire?
people of the Granite State by committing a horrible act, leaving behind a dark mystery and 4 bodies stuffed inside 2 different 55-gallon drums out in the middle of the woods.
Oh, heck no.
The person responsible was out there and active, but it was hard to catch because he pretended to be someone he wasn't, over and over again in several different states. And the true extent of what he did on this earth is impossible to know 100%, but what he did get caught for.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm leaning back because I'm a little spooked. I'm leaning back real quick before I get
guys,
jump
it's
scared.
Andrew, and thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Everytown. For today, we're going to learn about the wicked ways of Terry Rasmussen, a serial killer who stands in a league of his own. Because unlike most serial killers, well, Terry didn't pick out strangers. No, he killed the ones he was closest with.
Whoa.
So let's head over to New Hampshire and a few other spots. Learn about Terry, a.k.a. the Chameleon Killer.
Wait, why did I see some kids on there, bro?
And Terry was born in the wonderful city of Denver, Colorado, just before Christmas,
Older.
December 23rd of 1943. His parents were simple shopkeepers who ran their own shoe store together. While it's not known exactly when, the family eventually moved on down to Arizona, when Rasmussen would have been around 10 or 11 years old, and there he enrolled at Whittier Elementary School in Phoenix. By 1959, Terry had completed just 1 year over at North High School before dropping out in the 10th grade to serve his country. He enlisted in the
I ain't gonna
U.S.
lie, that
Navy
sounds
and
whack.
there
Imagine
served
being
6
like,
years
hey,
before
what high
being
school you went to?
discharged.
Oh, I went to North. I ain't gonna lie, that sounds straight. I'm hating.
So,
I'm definitely
fairly
hating.
normal life so far. And it's interesting because little is known about his true upbringing or adolescent behavior. There's never been any suspicious reports about his childhood indicating that something was wrong with the boy. He was never in any serious trouble to speak of, which is unique for someone who grows up to become a serial killer.
Yeah, wow.
As a true crime enthusiast, you know that serial killers often have troubled upbringings that affect their psyche. But in the case of Terry, nothing points to what exactly shaped him into who he would turn out to be. And that was a very bad individual. After the Navy, he returned to Phoenix for a brief time, later moved to Hawaii where he met a woman and got married.
This Yodi got married?
He settled down long enough for the two to have 2
I ain't
children,
gonna-
so
This
everything on the
Yodi got
outside appeared to be
married?
going.
I ain't gonna lie, chat. Y'all, a lot of y'all on YouTube, bro, y'all got no excuse. Y'all got no excuse. If this Yodi was able to chop something down, lame for that.
well for him, as he seemed to be living a normal American life.
Yeah, he had a kid?
After relocating to Redwood, California, the young budding family had another child in 1970, followed by another in 72.
He had 3 kids.
And it was around then that Terry's life began to take a slow, dark turn. It was as if he had been hiding something deep within that he had pushed down in order to create this facade of normalcy for so long. The family and white picket fence, he thought he could keep up the charade forever, but the darkness inside him found its way out. And from time to time, Terry would act out against his kids. He was known to berate them, and on one occasion, he even put a cigarette butt out on his oldest son's arm.
Bro, what?
The family ties here were wearing thin.
Wait, hold on, chat. I need to figure out what does berate mean? Does anybody know? I don't really know. How I spell that? Beret definition. Hold on, real quick, chat. I need to. Okay, like okay, like violently, like scold or to him.
He separated from his wife for a bit because she didn't want him around. And he gave it another go by moving back to Phoenix to be around his family. Maybe they could help take some of the stress off of raising 4 kids and Terry could calm down.
He had 4 of
that never
them.
happened. At 31 years old, Rasmussen was arrested for aggravated assault after a fight out at a bar in June of 1975. His wife had decided she had enough and left him after this, taking the kids along with her.
Dang.
The last time he would see any of them again would be around Christmas time that year, just before the divorce was finalized. And who knows how heartbroken the man was about all this, but soon he saw the good in it, at least for him. Because now, without anyone else around, Terry was finally able to become the person he always wanted to be. Though, not even he was really quite sure who that was, and so he set out on a bit of a journey to find out.
So he was cooling and he got married and had 4 kids. And then he decided to start just going crazy after
He
that.
created an entirely different alias.
So something just switched.
Wherever he went, he would tell people that his name was Bob Evans. And from there, Bob bounced around to many states. Texas, Idaho, Oregon, Ohio, and even Hawaii again. Along the way, picking up jobs as an electrician or oil man before.
I'm sorry for everybody who named Bob in the chat, bro. Sorry for Bob.
There was a place that called out to him for one reason or another.
All Bobs are cooked.
It was all the way on the East Coast in the granite state of New Hampshire. And that's when people started going missing. In the fall of 1978, on Thanksgiving Day, in La Puente, California, Marlise Honeychurch had flown over from New Hampshire to visit her mother's house, along with her 2 daughters, 6-year-old Mary Elizabeth Vaughn and 1-year-old Sarah Lynn.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Why you pick this picture, bro? Why they do that baby like that with this picture? Like, come on, bro. Like this head right here is insane. That like this is like crazy. Out of all the pictures,
Daughters.
feel bad for that.
Marlise had been married twice before and had a child with each one of her husbands, hence the different names. They were there to eat some turkey and give some thanks, but
that was a
end of the
massive
night,
cranium.
Marlise
They didn't
and
have
her
to do
mother
them like
could be heard arguing in a nearby bedroom by some of the guests. You see, Marlise had brought her new boyfriend over that day, Bob Evans, and something about him rubbed the mom the wrong way. Marlise's sister, Paula, says she heard Marlise and their mother arguing that night, and that was the last time she would see her sister and her nieces ever again. And Paula said, she went with Terry, and they left, never called, never contacted nobody, just disappeared.
Bro, he broke the home.
3 years later, in
before he
1981,
broke the home.
Another Thanksgiving came, and Bob was dating another woman, Denise Bowden, who had a 6-month-old daughter. Now, Denise had a bit of a tough life. Her family wasn't supportive in the most ideal of ways. But that day at dinner in Manchester, New Hampshire, that would be the last time that she would be seen alive as well.
What?
Though she was never reported missing because her family thought she had moved, as she had been talking about it for quite some time. As for the little girl, Terry would go on to call her his own. So either he had a little bit of sympathy in him and decided that rather than end such an innocent baby's life, well, he should do the right thing and at least provide for her. Neither that, or he figured it could be easier to get away with things, various petty crimes and what have you, if they look like a dad and a daughter.
You telling me, bro? This man has 4 kids. He boogas his girlfriend, takes her daughter and uses her as an alibi. But he already has kids.
He named her Lisa, but eventually his whole plan of looking more innocent would backfire when Terry, who at this moment in time was using the alias Curtis Kimball, was pulled over in Cypress, California for driving under the influence.
Do you want to discover how I got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube
We got
without
smacked
ever...
by around.
His date in court was set up, but the chameleon killer wasn't going to just show up and face the music. He skipped town and just created another name and persona for himself. This was his MO, just commit whatever crimes he wanted and then switch up his identity and he could start fresh. Only before he would start this next chapter as somebody else, he made sure to punish Lisa for causing him so much trouble. And he abandoned the 5-year-old at an RV park.
Bro, so he blamed him drinking and driving, getting drunk and getting pulled over on a 5-year-old that he was and just left her just unattained somewhere.
She will never get to know her mom. Police believe Terry killed her, though her body's never been found. Whatever she knew of this father figure that Terry pretended to be, well, chances are those memories aren't all that positive.
Bro, ain't no way. Wait. I thought it was she was 5 years old? So wait, because the mom was pregnant at the time, right? I don't think they said how baby was when he was a father figure for what, like 3 years or something like that? Maybe 3 or 4 years? And then he just dumped her off like the next day because he got caught.
Towards the end of 1985, actually pretty close to Thanksgiving once again on November 10th,
Bro,
joined the
they might as well call this Yodi the Thanksgiving killer. Why is he hawking on Thanksgiving? What happened on Thanksgiving for him to just start hawking everybody Thanksgiving?
Northeast Air in Allenstown, New Hampshire's Bear Brook.
And how is this this Yodi got the craziest riz? How is he getting a shorty every time? Every time it's time for him to make a play, he just is he that like? Is his game really that solid? So he could just be like, just pull up. You just inviting this boyfriend that you Thanksgiving party. Like, how is he getting his foot in the like?
Brook State Park, stumbled upon a tipped over 55-gallon drum out in the middle of the woods. There appeared to be some trash around it as well, so he went over to investigate. That's when he discovered something he didn't want to. There were 2 bodies inside that drum.
2?
Though they were in rough shape. They'd been dismembered, wrapped in plastic bags, and were skeletonized at that point, so they weren't recognizable at all. The authorities would hold a press conference, calling out to the public to come forward with any information they had about this. And they explained that the remains were from an adult woman.
I ain't gonna lie, yo. Everybody who got daughters and you better teach your daughter how to be Rambo, Miss Rambo. This is insane, bro. I like this man is really breaking home, giving one and chopping it up on dismembering and disappearing under a different.
Estimated to be between 23 and 33 years old, and a young girl, estimated to be between 5 and 11 years old.
What?
Both had been killed by blunt force trauma to the head, as their skulls indicated.
He beat them on
The
he
New
beat
Hampshire
a
State
kid?
Police investigated many missing persons cases from the 1970s and 80s right away, but were unable to identify the bodies.
Yo, this is sickening. I ain't gonna lie,
For a
it's
brief
sickening.
moment, they thought it might be two missing people named Grace Reap and her 5-year-old daughter who had gone missing years back, but dental records proved that this wasn't the case.
How is
The
he
authorities
chopping
received hundreds
all
of
these
leads over the
women?
years, and composite drawings of the victims were distributed throughout the Northeast, all the way up to Quebec, Canada. Several people in Allenstown said the unidentified adult woman looked like someone who had left town with a few of her children years before, but this was unfortunately a dead end when the woman was found to be alive in Arizona with her children. New Hampshire State Police received another tip about a missing mother and daughter from a Maine Indian reservation. The descriptions and time of their disappearance seemed to match perfectly, but the mother and daughter were also found alive and well.
He's
This
getting
case
lucky.
went on to be known as the Bear Brook murders. They went unsolved for many years. And the bodies of the pair went on to be buried in a nearby cemetery with a tombstone that read, "Here lies the mortal remains known only to God of a woman, aged 23 to 33, and a girl child, aged 8 to 10. Their slain bodies were found on November 10, 1985 in Bear Brook State Park. May their souls find peace in God's loving care."
RIP, bro. They couldn't identify who it was.
This case was a dark chapter.
Well, it was
for those living in New
1980, so
Hampshire.
they didn't have like the.
It's a dirty deed to put a woman and child into a drum and leave it out in the woods, so to not find out who did it, the war on the police and the community. As it turns out, if they did a little bit more of a broader search of the area, well, they might have solved this case a whole lot sooner.
What? He left more bodies around there.
"15 years later, on May 9th of 2000, the now cold case was handed over to a state trooper to take another look at the evidence. He familiarized himself with the case files, and then went out to Bear Brook State Park to take a look at the crime scene himself, see if he could piece something together. As he walked around those woods, and there, not more than 100 yards from where the first barrel was found, there was yet another 55-gallon drum. Inside this one, 2 more bodies were discovered, and this time both of them were young female children. And the remains of one of the young girls discovered in 2000 was linked by DNA to the remains of the adult woman discovered in the first barrel back in 1985. But without knowing her identity, there was no way of knowing who her children were.
So she had 3 kids.
But now, there was pressure more than ever to solve the case. All 4 victims were killed around the
What? It took them 15 years just to find the other. Bro, what? He said it was only 100 yards away. One football field away. So you're telling me they didn't search that, like, they didn't really search the area like that? I guess they probably searched probably like 50 yards maybe circumference, but like, dang, bro. He boogered her and her children. Is that because of his wife or left him? So he's boogering women with children.
same time, and it's believed the police overlooked the second barrel simply because they weren't looking for it. They didn't expect there to be more than 2 bodies, but now it was looking like they had a serial killer on their hands.
I mean, bro, what you mean?
Because this dumping ground was away from any.
Bro, let's be honest. You ever find a body, not like you found a body cut up, dismembered, girl? That's a serial killer. Off for it, bro. Off for it. If you just find a body just there, then I don't know. It might not be. But they were inside of a barrel, chopped up. It was 1985 though. So
Any major highway. and people felt like there was
Life
a
was
good
different.
chance it was a local who did this. But once again, over time, the case slowly went cold.
Hey, I guess, well, yeah, if you don't find no leads, there's nothing to do.
By
Look at this, Yodi. All right, this is a bad picture, so I don't know how he was coming out, but like, these shorties was on that. This Yodi look like, I guess him looking like that with a smile would be different, right? If I'm just looking like, I might look a little crazy too on a black and white. I look at, I ain't gonna lie, I look at saying, but like, yeah, with a smile, it might change. But like, how? This Yodi, he does just look like a. Obviously, like, this is him in jail or something, so his hair is looking crazy. Yeah, he's looking crazy right. He was chopping it down to the point that they trusted him so much that they would get in a car with him right after Thanksgiving just to never be seen again.
By 2001, Terry Rasmussen was on to another alias of his. He was going by the name Lawrence Vanner, and he was performing odd jobs out in California.
Cali? Oh,
Even
heck
though
no.
no marriage certificate was ever filed, he and 41-year-old Yoon Soon Jun had an unofficial backyard wedding ceremony in Richmond that same year. Yoon Soon Jun was a chemist from California, and in Terry, or Lawrence, she found the love of her life. June was quiet and kind. She loved the idea of advancing science to help people. She worked for City of
this
Hope
is
Hospital in Los
insane.
Angeles. And so, when she abruptly vanished in June of 2002, well, people took notice. Lawrence was brought in to be questioned as police had heard some strange story about him.
He has an ID or something? Like, how are they calling him Lawrence when his name is clearly Terry? Is he getting IDs like made, like fake ID? How are they believing this alias? Because the last time they had him when he drinking and driving, right? He had a different name, and they had him in the picture with the different name. So on that driver's license, is he having like a different name? How is he doing that in 1980? This is probably like 2000 ish. It's probably like 2000 something. But like, how is he getting a like? How do they think that this is not Terry? Because I know if I would walk in that Shysta. Oh, let me see ID instantly. Scan that ID. Oh, this ID fake. Who are you? I mean, scan that fingerprint. I don't know how is this Yodi in the police station? They don't know
This man. For starters, when June introduced Lawrence to her family, just like Marlise Honeychurch's mom, well, they told her that they thought her new boyfriend was strange and weird. He was dirty and looked unkempt, and they felt like he was taking advantage of June's kindness. Now, with her missing, June's friends and family were very suspicious of Lawrence, and they made sure to let the police know that. So detectives went over to her house to see what they could find, and sure enough, in the corner of the garage behind some boxes was an unusually large pile of kitty litter.
We found love in a hole.
But had her in the kitty litter.
On a closer inspection, they saw it, a human foot with a flip-flop still on it sticking out. And it was June.
He buried her under some. Oh, he wasn't finished. They pulled up quick. He wasn't finished. But he just threw her with the kitty litter.
Rasmussen was detained in November of 2002 on suspicion of killing her, and ultimately he received 15 years to life in prison. And while all this was going on, The police had no idea they were actually dealing with a certified serial killer. And that is until the mystery surrounding the unidentified remains from Bear Brook started to slowly come to light. Rasmussen's fingerprints were taken and were compared to those of a man named Curtis Mayo Kimball. You might remember that Curtis was the name he was using in '86 when he was caught for drunk driving with little Lisa in the back seat.
Yes, I remember.
Because this crime had also happened in California, it wasn't hard to connect the two. But now, they had to wonder
But that was
just
in
how
New
many
Hampshire.
times the chameleon had changed his name and what else he had done.
Okay, so when he finally went to prison, that's when they started raising their questions. They figured that, wait, you were in here as Lawrence or something. You had a fake name. But then they took his prints and compared it to a bunch of other people. He probably looked like Curtis. They're like, wait, match the fingerprints. But that's what I'm saying. If they took Curtis's fingerprint, right? Like when he was he got booked. How did it not come across? I guess they probably didn't run it, right? Probably just took. They didn't run it to see if that was actually him. They didn't do their job. They didn't do their job. They didn't do their job. That was their fault. Somebody should have ran his print to make sure that Curtis was Curtis.
Well, it took some time, but in 2019, the mystery of the old cold case of the Bear Brook murders would unravel. And it happened with citizen detectives taking up the...
I ain't gonna lie, but like, let's think about it though. You worked at the front desk of a... The man comes in. All your task to do is make him and his thumbprint, take a picture, write down the file, get the next person. You know what I'm saying? They're probably not about to spend time trying to figure out if this is Curtis. I get it. They could have prevented another
passing
killing.
on whatever they discovered to cold case investigators. Rebecca Heath, a librarian, dug deep into the message boards of genealogy websites dating back decades. Rhonda Randall, a woman who grew up in the Allenstown area, conducted interviews with residents of a nearby trailer park. Eventually, the owner of an abandoned store near the Barrels revealed to the investigator that he suspected the murderer was a man named Bob Evans. He said Bob had done some electrical work for him in the late 1970s. In 2019, Heath rediscovered a 1999 Ancestry.com message board where a woman was looking for Sarah McWaters, a toddler who had been missing since 1978. And they were able to trace the missing persons poster to the disappearance of Marlise, Sarah's mother, and Sarah's older sister, Marie.
RP.
So they connected the pieces of the puzzle together, and investigators got what they needed to name the unidentified bodies in the barrels of Allenstown.
I ain't gonna lie, my heart.
The mother and her two daughters were connected, but the other child was still unidentified. But now, believing that Terry was the prime suspect, they used his DNA and were able to confirm that the fourth body was Terry Rasmussen's biological daughter.
I knew it, bro. I knew it.
A pattern appeared to be forming. Rasmussen's victims were his girlfriends and their children, not strangers. And criminologist Jack Levine has stated that Rasmussen is unlike any serial killer he has ever studied, stating, "What distinguishes Rasmussen from most serial killers is that he targeted people with whom he had a relationship. Most serial killers would never do that. It's the last thing they would do. Instead, they focus on complete strangers." They could never find any trace of the little girl's mother, and so it's assumed that Terry murdered her too, and she likely has never been found.
Wait. So he had 4 kids. He boogled all 4 of his kids and his wife. I think that's what happened. I think his ex-wife, he got pissed, right? This based on what I saw. Remember, he had his wife. His wife divorced him. He never killed or anything before. But I think his wife divorced him with the 4 kids. Already tweeted. He realized this man out of the book, out the new. Anyway, she realized he was a tweaker, so he went, killed his baby moms and his 4 children. I don't know if he killed his 4 children, but possible. And then he boogered the girl, the girlfriend, the first one, that whatever. He boogered her and her child, but since he already boogered his 4 children, that's why he kept that one daughter, Lisa. That's why. Oh, like, I already killed my children, whatever. Like, I think that's what he did, bro. That's crazy. And then that was his MO. His MO was probably to, get with a girl and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to find love. And I bet the women probably figure, like, bro, you're like tripping, or, they probably got a little argument, with your significant other. You back and forth. He couldn't handle it. He probably thought, like, oh, she gonna leave me. Yeah, he probably just
And with this, the cases were finally brought to light.
Bro.
And Terry, at the age of 67, died while imprisoned at High Desert State Prison in December of 2010 from lung cancer. And although he never had to face justice for the Bear Brook crimes, families of his missing and murdered victims were relieved. A family member of Marlise said in a statement, "On behalf of our families, we would like to thank everyone who has spent decades tirelessly working to identify our loved ones.
Facts. Hey, at least they found out.
Hearts.
It took a while.
Marlise, Marie, and Sarah were so loved by our families,
Dang.
and they are greatly missed. We take solace in finally having the answers we've longed for."
Dang. R.I.P., man. They didn't deserve that.
But that's not the end of it, because Terry is believed to be connected to several other cases, such as 14-year-old Laureen Ron, disappeared from Manchester, New Hampshire in April of 1980. Rasmussen lived only 1.5 miles away from her. Another is of 25-year-old Denise Denault, who went missing from a bar in 1980. And Denault lived on the same street as Rasmussen. In November of 2017, after Terry was identified as the Bear Brook murderer, police and FBI agents looked into this angle. By 2020, the New Hampshire senior assistant stated that there was no obvious connection.
Bro, this is insane. How is this Yodi? Bro, this Yodi is chopping down these women, which they're probably vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? They got children, a lot going on in their lives. They see this guy. He don't seem normal, but he don't seem insane. Something about that little edge they probably mess with a little bit, because he didn't tweak, but he didn't, you know what I'm saying, he probably applied a little pressure. But, like, how is he chopping down all these women? That's like, dang, bro. He's getting close to these women to the point where they're in, like, their time on Thanksgiving. I don't know about y'all families or nothing like that, but, like, my family, you ain't just popping up with no randoms on Thanksgiving, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, you better be, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all better be locked. You come around my family for Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's really it. Like, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Those are, like, big holidays. Somebody to pull up. And this was, when did they say she went missing? 1980? He is, this Yodi had, this is, think about it, this is 1980. So there's not no iPhones, there's no iPhones, no, you know what I'm saying? There's no Instagram, no, none of that. He's just straight walking up. He's walking them down. Hey, what's up, baby? Hey, how you doing?
Action between Denault and Rasmussen, but That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Hey, my
And for
heart,
what reason
bro.
Terry
Echo out my
murdered,
heart.
abducted, and deceived his way through several states under a number of aliases over 3 decades, we'll never really know for sure. But the chameleon killer likely had many other victims, some of which may come to light someday, and others that could remain a mystery forever. So that's it for this week's episode of Every Town. Thanks for tuning in today.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and like the video. All I gotta say, this is crazy. My heart. We got our one. I'm up. I don't want to see that again. That messed me up.